Hello and happy Monday. I want to say happy June. This is the midsection of the year. So I want to know what your goals are. I want to know, have you been crushing your goals? I want to know, how does your spirit feel? Do you feel that you have done enough work to sustain these last 6 months of 2023? I am so excited about this show because each and every show, I am being very intentional with bringing you people that I know have made tremendous comebacks. We all go through something in our life, right? None of us are immune to testing times where we need to dig down very deep, for our faith. None of us are immune to that, right? And so I believe that you can come back from anything with God. I almost want y'all to put it in the comments because I feel like I say it enough every single episode. Do you know what they are? There's 3 things that I say that you need. One of them is God. The second one is the right resources. And the third, I always tell you that the third thing that you need is the ability for you to put in the work. So with all 3 of those things, I truly believe that you can make a dope comeback. Welcome to episode 84 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. Of course, I am your host, Jazz Bennett, mother, educator, host, and so much more. And I have a very special show for you today. Just like every other episode, I want to go ahead and give a special shout out. I don't know what's going on with my S's today, my SP sounds today, but I want to give a very special shout out to Portia Allure. Portia, I am so proud of you. Portia will also be a guest on the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast this month. So she will be coming on during a later episode in the month. But Portia had a fashion show last night and she took us to the Grammys last night. So, everyone was decked out in their couture, or couture-ish ensembles, and she gave out awards for the best MUA, the best makeup artist. She gave awards for the best fashion designer, the best model, etc. And what I love about her fashion show is that her fashion show celebrates all body types, but she specializes in showcasing full-figured models. And so I love that you give them a venue, an avenue to show what they have on the runway, and they did such a phenomenal job. So kudos to you and your team. Portia also did something very special where she gave back to the community. At the beginning of the show, patrons were encouraged that if they had a nonprofit organization, that all they had to do was to enter a free raffle. And so just put their name in a basket, with a raffle ticket. And what she did is she surprised a nonprofit with funds that would help them to continue in their efforts with whatever service their nonprofit did. And so she actually gave away 2 donations because guess what, y'all? The audience members were so enthralled with what she was doing that they just started handing her hundreds here, and she was able to bless more than one nonprofit. So Portia, continue to do what you are doing. You are definitely supported by the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast, and I cannot wait to link and work with you on your future endeavors. So thank you guys for tuning in. As I stated before, this is episode 84 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. And what's so special about this particular episode is that I get to interview one of my line sisters. That's right. She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so, among other things, what I really want you guys to really do is really get to know her and know what she's doing with her business. So I'm going to introduce her and then I'm going to bring her on we do every episode of the podcast. And so Rashawn Williams is my special guest for episode 84. And I know she's patiently waiting to be brought in on the broadcast. And so I know she's waiting. I see you. I want you to go ahead and follow her. It's at Ray Mary K 2023. Rashawn, if you are watching, which I know you are, go ahead and drop your credentials in the comment section so that people can go ahead and start following you. And so, 2023, I need for you guys to make sure that you are following her, okay? So Rashawn is a wife to Jason Williams. She is the mother of 3 to Mayaria, Jalen, and Kai. She is a 21-year educator with experiences in elementary education, coaching, and as an elementary AP. In her spare time, she loves to spend time with her family, read, and travel. And we're going to talk all about reading. We're going to talk all about her traveling ventures. Currently, she is the senior coordinator. She's the senior coordinator for teacher training in the professional development sector of the Polk County Public School System. During the day, she empowers and trains incoming educators to the profession. And in the evening, guess what she's doing? She is empowering and training entrepreneurs on STEM, skill management, time management, emotional management, and money. So through the vehicle of Mary Kay, and I want to get all into your business, Rashawn, with Mary Kay, because I'm excited. I tried to doll up for you. You know, you can give me some pointers and tell me, well, Jazz, I think you need to try this foundation, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get all into that, all right? So she's going to tell you about her comeback, because her comeback really revolves around, I was reading your bio, Rashawn, and you said that your comeback, you think, is just being able to provide, to create a sense of freedom and a certain type of lifestyle for your family. And so I know that through education, through Mary Kay, through all of those things, that's going to be possible. We're going to get into how you were introduced to Mary Kay, all things Mary Kay, all things Rashawn, because I always said that Rashawn's one of these people that I consider to be like a quiet storm. Like she's kind of quiet and reserved, but she's mighty and she's powerful. And so those are the people that I really, really love, because like she's not really on the radar, but she makes a powerful impact like when she does something. And I have always admired that about you. And so we're going to get into all of that. I love what you said. One of your final quotes of your bio, you said that you believe that with God, all things are possible to those who believe in the possibilities of their dreams. And so with that, I want to welcome you online, sister. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a part of this show. I know you are so busy. I know that life is lifing.
Yes.
You know, although this is the summer, I know that you are still busy at work, you know. And so how was your day?
Super busy. So we have new teachers coming in. This is the first day of tips. I don't know if you know what that is, but it went virtual because it went virtual for COVID. So not only is it virtual, yes, and so it's still virtual.
Okay.
And then I'm training coaches as well to welcome them in August. So that was both going on simultaneously. So I was still there at work, helping some new teachers get onto the platform, but so happy that I'm here. I love your lipstick.
Thank you.
I tried to do green, pink and green a little bit. I don't know if you can see it.
I know. Look, I was like, I do have on some green, but I was like, you know, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, we're on the same page. We're on the same page a little bit.
So you look as beautiful as always. And so I said, all right, Rashawn, get ready for some questions, because I'm going to throw you some questions at the beginning of the show. We do a segment entitled 21 Questions with Jazz. So are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. And so just to put a little spoof and spin on that, it was so funny because like the Shade Room recently did a post about about realistically like 50 Cent's song, because you know the 21 Questions kind of derives from his song. It was, you know, inspired by that. Okay. But they put they just said like basically 50 was tripping with the questions that he was asking, like what how would you have responded if 50 Cent was asking you those questions? Like, you got to go back and see it. Like, I have been rolling like this whole past weekend from seeing that. So these questions are not going to be those types of questions where you're
Thank you, Jasmine. Give me a break here because I have not prepped for anything. Listen.
I got you. You know I got you. You know I'm a pro at this. I got you. Sis. I would not leave you astray. All right, so I'm going to ask you the questions, and you just shoot from the hip of what comes to your mind. And so basically they're going to be about you, so you know the answer. It's nothing that you have to look up and research. So we just want to get to know you a little bit better, all right? Okay. So first question, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from River Rouge, Michigan.
Oh, so
I'm telling you River Rouge because when we were at Sam, you have to say Detroit because nobody knows River Rouge.
Because I was just about to say, I was just about to ask you, how far is that from Detroit?
Yes. So it is so crazy. So I'm close to Southwest Detroit. So literally it is Bassett, that is Detroit, and then the street over, like a little street, like T-Circle, Magnolia, like literally a street, and then that's River Rouge. So literally right across the street is Detroit. Yes.
Okay.
But it's a whole little city.
When you found yourself going off the fam, like did you find yourself like repping the D versus just saying where you're from?
Definitely, unless I met somebody from Michigan, they know the city of River Rouge. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So River Rouge kind of reminds me of Bartow. Okay. It's really like a lot of school spirit. I was a cheerleader there, class president. So it was really a nice little town, just like Bartow. Yes. Yes. So, I mean, I'm representing because if you follow any of my friends from River Rouge, they are mighty too. So they're entrepreneurs. They're doing their thing. So I'm really proud to represent. Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Did you know like a lot of people from the D, like when you went to FAM? Because we all had like our own little sectors. Did you? Was there a Detroit club, a Michigan club?
It was the D town. I don't know. I think it was a Michigan club. That's what we called it. But yeah, so it was probably a couple. So my guidance counselor daughter, Tanya Baskerville, she was in McGuinn, so I knew her. She actually went to the performing arts school, so we didn't hang out like in high school, but I remember she went to FAM, and then my good friend Amina Allen, she majored in SBI, so we came together, so she was right around the hall for me, but those are the only two people I knew from Michigan, but we all came together. Yeah, so. Okay.
Look, I'm gonna definitely have to send this interview to one of my friends who, he's from the D as well. He was actually my guest. I think DQ was my guest for episode 4, I think. But DQ is doing the thing. He's with Griffin Plastic Surgery in Detroit. Like he's one of the top plastic surgeons really in the nation.
Wow.
And so he's from the D. He has represented the D since the end of time. So he knows Tanya. So I know you guys probably y'all will be in the same circle. Like if you gotta meet him. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, that's awesome. Plastic surgery. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, like really, yeah. He's doing his thing. So how would you describe your upbringing? Small town girl.
Describe my upbringing, just family oriented. I would say my mom was a single mom, and I had my younger brother is 5 years younger than me, and then my younger sister is 10 years older than me. But it still was a family atmosphere. We were brought up in church, literally 4 blocks away. We could walk to church if we wanted. We traveled a lot with my youth group, so I think that kind of put the bug in me. My family is also from Roanoke, Virginia, but they used to come visit every summer, or we go to Roanoke. So just that love of travel came from my family and from my church, because we used to travel a lot with our youth group. With the choir or just the Sunday school. So that's how I really grew up. Really close-knit. Like I said, it was a small city, but I just feel like people really poured into us. And that was the time where, your parents were involved in the PTA, and somebody saw you, they could tell your mom, but they can get onto you too. So that was the era that we grew up in.
Yeah.
So all of us are super close. Our parents were close, so we can go next door down the street in the summertime, ride your bike, come back at night before street lights come on. So it was that kind of upbringing in River Rouge. But we are really because we did different things after school and our parents were involved. I think that we just got a lot of inspiration from our teachers. So a lot of people don't know River Rouge was segregated. So we had 2 elementary schools where all African-American kids went. And then on the other side of the tracks, literally in Michigan, this happens, it was 2 white schools. And then we all went to high school together in one big high school. So our elementary school went from K to 6. And then When I was in elementary school, they actually made like an 8th grade something where we got to go to the high school. We could be on one floor, and then we went to high school. But it was literally elementary school straight to high school. It's how the school district was designed.
How was that experience for you? Like, how was it when you guys merged into high school? Because what you're describing right now is something that my parents talked about, like, you know, how Union was Union Academy that was for African Americans, and some of them was for, you know, our Caucasian students. So how was that merging? And that's so crazy that now, you know, even now it's like that. So what was that experience like for you?
So the experience was, it was an empowering experience, because just think about in elementary school, we had African American teachers that really poured into us. So we knew Black history. We were doing Black history plays. We were reading Maya Angelou books and everything. And then we got to this school that really didn't see us. So we scored really high on our standardized test. And so it was probably 9 of us that stayed together from 8th grade all the way to 12th grade. So my cousin Nicole, we're all in alphabetical order. So we the green girls. So she was Nicole Green, I was Rashawn Green. And so literally every class, it was the same. We in rows. She's in front of me, and Kevin Henley's in back of me. Every single class, except for your electives. So one particular incident, we were in science class, and, you know, we're just going on. We actually had to put these 2 people together. So we decided to do a Black person, a white person, put them together for, I think it was chemistry or biology or something. And so we was like, let's say, So we was like, okay, what's the dominant gene? The dominant gene is going to be, you know, Black. So how is this person going to look? And so we ended up making this person, okay, what all the variations we can get from this person or whatever. And so we were creative. And then, of course, our Caucasian classmates got upset because they didn't feel like we should have done this. And it was a whole big thing. So that probably was junior year. And so we just rounded up all 9 of us. We said, we're going to run for every office in the school. We're going to run for student council. We're going to run for class officers. And so that's exactly what we did. So senior year, the whole dynamic flipped. It changed. And we took over all the different offices in student council.
This is so interesting to me. So look, nobody around you, like, nobody, any of this, nobody from Polk County, that I think that's outside of your close friends and your family, nobody knows this about you. And that's why I love doing this podcast so much, because I'm just listening to you, and it's like, we went to FAM together, but we weren't in the same circle. Like you dated Jason, like we knew Jason. I knew Jason because we're from the same hometown, but it's like, what in the world? Like, I look at people, and I literally look at people all the time, and I'm like, I wonder what their story is. Like, there is something so unique about every single person. Rashawn, I would have never in the world have known any of this about you, but now that I'm listening to you, and I know what you do now, and I see how involved you are with the youth, and how important Black history is for you, and how important education is for you now, it's like, it's clicking. Like, I get it. Like, I totally get it. Like, you have a view on life that nobody really your age, unless they came from a situation like you, really does. Like, because us here, you know, in Polk County, like, we really don't. It's, you know, some people still think it's a little, you know, this area, that area, but my God, because I always, when I listen to my parents talk about, you know, going to an all-Black high school. And, of course, it still happens here because, you know, you have places like Orlando Jones. And I don't even know if Orlando Jones is still predominantly Black or not. But I just remember that's from my experience in high school. That's the only high school that I can remember where I'm like, oh, my God, like, that's a mini fam. Like, I want to go to Orlando Jones. And so that's major. That is so interesting. And so were you scared when you ran for president of your class? Because I was president of my class too, but I can tell you, I can imagine that my experience was totally different from yours. So how was that experience?
Class was only around like 90 students, so I really wasn't scared, because remember, we were empowered. So we had some African American teachers who on the down low was supporting us. So they like, whatever you need, you just let us know and we got you. Because remember, we talked about that close-knit family and the parents and stuff, so they got us sons. They were all in for us taking over and just proving, because we weren't being seen. We did go to the school board, and we was like, you know what, this happened in the 60s, because my mom shared with me what happened in the 60s. We had the National Guard there in Detroit, and they took over. So she tells this whole long story. They were on the street, and National Guard came when Martin Luther King was killed. And so all of that is ingrained in us. Our parents are the generation, so we're that generation after them. Yeah. And so we went to the school board. We're like, if you want this to happen again, that happened in the 1960s, it's happening in 1996. So they're not getting along. These, is rearing its head. This racism is rearing its head. And so they said, we can't do anything. The school board wouldn't do anything. And so that was the next step. We just took it into our own hands. We were still rebels, I swear. So if you talk to any of those 9 classmates of mine, we were, because it was just like ingrained in us from elementary. Like, we had such empowering teachers, and we knew who we were. And so when they said, what school are you going to, I was getting as far away as I could from River Rouge, because that experience was traumatic, but I just needed some all empowering, educated Black people away from
that leads me to my next question. Yeah, because I'm like, well, why FAM?
Yes,
because I think you may be closer to Howard or somewhere like that. So why FAMU?
So I went to a college tour probably junior year, and my cousin was already in computer science at FAMU. And so I went to his table. He was there representing FAMU, and he said, they have one of the best education programs in the country. I said, okay, well, just sign me up. Because I did visit. I went to Hampton, Spelman. I think those are the only top 3. Tuskegee. A lot of people in my church were in HBCUs, so I knew about the different HBCUs. But once he said the education program was #1 in the country, I'm like, okay, well, that's where I'm going. So that's the only college I put down on my FAFSA. Really? Yes, the only one.
Has it always been education for you? Like, that's what you wanted to do, always wanted to do?
Yes, so education kind of came about. So we used to have different programs in the summer where we could work at age 14, but it was like a supplement. So I had a job at a court office, and it was the summertime. And I was like, why are we in this court office doing these tickets? It is such nice weather. Why am I in this? And I was like, I have to choose a profession where I have this summer off. And I think that's kind of what piqued my interest. So that was when I was 14, 15. And then I think education just took off. I used to volunteer and work at summer camps, probably junior and senior year. And I just loved it. We just do so much creative things with the kids, teach them little dances and go on field trips and stuff. And so I just really enjoyed it. So when he said education, I was like, okay, I'm going to FAM.
Okay, I love it. Yeah. Now, did you ever, because I feel that I was one of those people where I was always smart, and I absolutely loved education, but education was not ever my #1. Like, people always saw the educator in me, and I used to tutor everyone, but that's not where my mind was. I can't necessarily tell you that I was chasing money, because I wasn't chasing money either. But did you, in your lens, because the #1 thing that people always tell you, they say it's a great profession, of nobility, and and it's just, the teachers are the creators of all other professions or professionals, but they're always gonna circle it out with, or end it with, it's a labor of love, because that you're not gonna get rich off of this profession. But did you ever think that, or was that even ever a factor in your decision? Did that even?
Definitely, but I think I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it going to college. I was just had my mind set on that. I knew I had a profession, and I probably didn't hit me until after I graduated and I saw the paycheck. So I was like, this is it. I worked 4.5 years, and this is all I get. So it really, it really shook me, Jazz, when I got that paycheck. And I was like, I don't even know what I just did for 4.5 years, but this is not going to work. And I remember that teacher, we said, the empowering teacher, his name was Mr. Woods. He's like, no, you need to go into engineering or something like that. You're too smart to just go into education. And he was my teacher for 2 years in a row. But he was the backbone of all. If anybody asks you, Mr. Woods was the teacher. He's like, no, don't go into education. And I didn't listen to him. No. And he's probably passed away by now. But if I could talk to him now, yep, you were right. But I mean, it just brings you joy, and so you don't do it for the money. When you as a leader, I was assistant principal, it broke my heart to leave, because I'm just like, these kids will never probably see another assistant principal in this role. And you just think about that stuff. Like, it's not that many of us. And so,
Right.
yeah, but I don't do it for the money. It's just the joy that you see. Now they're grown. They're like in their 30s, but you don't know the impact you have until, you know, they're off and gone. They come back and see you and stuff. So, yeah, but I was upset about that paycheck.
Listen, do you know what's so crazy about, like, what do you know what's so crazy about that? Like, you're really gonna be like, wait a minute, what, Jazz? Because I tell this story all the time. Like, when I graduated, because I graduated from broadcast journalism, but when I came home, you know, like that in the interim and you're waiting, like I worked at Marshall's because that's what I did in college, because I'm like, I love fashion, and I'm like, hey, I can get me a little discount and I'm good. Right. But so I kept my little job at Marshall's, but I also subbed. Okay. And that's really how I got into education. From a substitute, you know, going, you know, to an AP just like you. But I started off as a substitute, and then I accepted a teaching job. But let me tell you how I accepted a teaching job, because I had applied to news stations. I had done all of that. Girl, do you know, like, the news station that I wanted to go to when it was in the top 10 market. And when I looked at that contract, girl, I tell people the story and they're like, you are lying. I'm like, no, I'm not lying. They were trying to pay me $19,000 a year for a 3-year contract. And my professors were like, what is this? They were just like, so I felt so deflated. I was like, so when I don't even remember applying for this 3rd grade position, but a school offered me a 3rd grade position, and I looked at that contract, I was like, now, because I don't want to keep listening to my parents. Like, I chose education over that. Like, how ironic is that? Yeah. I was just like, but then I ended up loving it, because just like you, it's like 21 plus years into the field. But I tell that story, and I think that is the funniest story, because all people talk about education and salary. I'm like, let me tell you what they was trying to pay me, you know, with a broadcast journalism degree back in the day. So I think that's hilarious. All right, so we're gonna go to family at this particular time. So I love me a good love story real quick. Like, y'all, you know, your hubby is not on the show at this particular time, but you met your husband. How long have you guys been married?
It's going to be 20 years, July 21st.
Yeah. So you have a sustainable, we already know, like, y'all are lovey-dovey. So how did you guys meet, and then, like, who approached who?
All right, so you already know the Bartow crew. So he contacted a girl, Michaela McKinney, you know, Miss McKinney. So I don't know, they were SBI together. Yeah. He saw me somewhere. He like, Michaela, can I get her number or something? They passed my number on to Jason, and so he called me one day. And then I remember the first date, they was like, we know where your grandma live, we know where your mom live in Bartow, so you better bring her back, because this is our friend. So we all stayed in McGuinn together. Kayla's on the 1st floor, I was on the 2nd floor. And so that's how we met. We exchanged numbers. We met up in the caf one morning before class, because I was like, I don't even know who this person is. Who? I don't even know.
So who was more talkative, you or him? Because both of y'all are like quiet. Both of y'all are quiet, but then you're out going around people that you're comfortable with. But so who did like most of the talking, Rashawn?
Yeah, everybody always that's men in college too. Like, are you sure he talks? I was like, yes, he talks. So I would say it was equal. I mean, I was overpowered and he was overpowered, and I think it was mutual. Yeah.
When did you feel like, okay, this is my husband?
Probably senior year. You know, he had really great qualities. I mean, we had been dating all that time since freshman year. So that was like freshman year, February time. Yeah.
What's so crazy is that you may know these people, but I will find myself in some of the most random conversations. And what people always remember about Jason is his athletic abilities, like in basketball, because they still admire him to this day for his athleticism. And so I'm telling you, Rashawn, it'll just be like the most random conversations like this. conversation literally happened probably like 3 months ago, and someone was like, what happened to the dude that, and I don't know who they're like, they'll just say certain things. There was like, he was quiet, but he was real good at basketball, like da da da. And I was like, are you talking about Jason Williams? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, because his wife is your line sister or whatever. He was like, and the next thing that they would say, when you saw one, you saw the other. You saw the other. And so and these are random people. You probably don't even know them. Like, I know. Yes. It is so funny. I'm like, it's so funny what people remember about other people, because that's what I remember about you, because you guys stayed in the same apartment complex as one of my best friends. And I'm like, oh, look at Jason has him a girlfriend. Go, Jason. That's like, I don't think we ever even met in college, Rashawn.
We didn't even meet. No, I know. I remember you being on the radio, but that was pretty much it. I mean, I remember you doing the radio station, but I don't think we ever met.
Not ever. Like, life is so weird like that. It's just weird. So like, how did you guys end up? Because you guys did like some years, like you did some years in Dubai. Like, where were you exactly?
So we were in Abu Dhabi. So that's the country. So the country is United Arab Emirates. So the main capital is Abu Dhabi. So we were placed in Al Ain. That's more where the families live. Abu Dhabi is more of a city. Dubai is more of a big city. So it's 7 different emirates. So we were placed in one of the cities that was in Abu Dhabi. So we were there 4 years, maybe like close to 4.5. So I went and applied first for education again. I really went because I was frustrated. I had just had Jalen. And so teacher salary was not paying for Jalen and May to go to daycare. So we went to a wedding and we met this couple that, we're teaching overseas in Abu Dhabi. And I was, remember House Hunters and all that way back in ACTV. Like, what in the world? That's the same, city or country that, the couple was talking about. Yeah. About this teacher in some apartment. So so they gave us the name of the company. We applied, and 4 months later we were in Abu Dhabi because it was just not cutting. I was frustrated because I wanted to stay home with May and Jalen, and I couldn't because we needed both incomes. And so we applied, and they know just how much to get you to come. It's like just over what you're making in the United States. And then they had extra perks, like, you can fly home every year. They used to give us a stipend to fly home for your whole family. They paid for our housing, so I didn't really have any bills over there. We had a nanny to take care of the kids. We were at school. So it was really a lot of perks that, they got us to come to that country. So it was an amazing experience. Yep.
What do you remember, like, one of the things that's different about, being there versus being in the United States? Like, give me a positive, like some things that you really enjoyed there versus here.
I really enjoyed the camaraderie with the English teachers, just because we were put in a situation where we had to depend on each other. We were only 7 people in the whole school who know English. And so can you imagine being in the faculty meeting and the principal speaking in Arabic? You have no idea what they're saying. Yeah. So we like, okay, we'll get the memo sometime later. We're going to find one of these Emirati teachers to translate to tell us something. So we depended on that. And another positive I would say is just getting the insight of an Emirati woman, where when the abaya is off, all of that is off, they really are really just like us. And so you can like visit and like do the sand dunes and everything, but teaching with them, they really do have the same desires that we have. And so when all the veils and abayas and stuff come off, that was really just eye-opening, and just to get to see their culture, and they're so welcoming, and just the food is really good. Home cooked food. Yes, we were totally being hoodwinked for 3 years until we started eating with the locals. Like, why are we paying 20 to 30 dirham a plate for some red Ruby Tuesday, and we're paying 1 dirham for like a whole meal? What are we doing? So we didn't find that out until like year 3. But the food is
What's amazing. Your favorite dish over there? We have Larissa watching. Hi, cute party chef. Thank you for tuning in. She's a foodie to her core. So like, what's one of your favorite dishes from
wow. I need a shawarma right about now. The shawarma is like shaved chicken, and it's like soft French fries with like a yogurt and cucumber and tomato. But I cannot find it here to say, like, you still have some like the Mediterranean restaurants, but you can't find it. How they made it. They would actually cook it daily and like have like way back in the day where they had to put the bread into the actual oven with the fryer. So it was amazing, but super cheap. It was really good and filling.
I wonder if it's like, have you ever been to that restaurant? Is it Zappa's? I think it's called Zappa's or something like that. That's
I've heard of Zappa's.
I wonder if you would go there because look, I'll eat now. Like
I know.
I'm gonna have to
let me know if you find something.
Gonna go around and find you a restaurant now that can duplicate that. I know it has to be somewhere. So like I just want. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just like, if you find something, let me know because we've been looking.
Look, you got it in my brain now, so now it's gonna be embedded. So now that's what I'm gonna really, really be on the hunt for. Yeah. I just going back to education. Just because you climb the ranks of education and you have a district job, once again, but you're at a higher level now with your job role, from teacher to reading coach, district reading coach, assistant principal, and now you're in professional development. And so with your lens on the way that our school system is with our kids right now, and then comparing it to the school system there, how do we measure up?
That's a great question. So the perception of the education system there is that they have a lot of money, but if you would think about it, when I first arrived there, they were just getting off the ground, just like systems in place to actually run a school system. Like they had been educating boys for a long time. So the schools were still separated. So one of my friends, she got placed at all boys school. I was at an all girls school. Now, if you go back, she said they've combined them together, which was haram, which means no, we're not doing that. But they've taken some steps to kind of do that. But if you think about education, they were super open to a lot of outside influences, but you have to think about it didn't mesh with their culture.
Yeah.
For instance, they want to do the same school system that we do. We're going to start in August. We're going to end in June? Okay, the end of June. So in their culture, no, it's hot. It's 100 degrees. So
right.
You can say we coming to school into the end of June, but it really stopped in May. May 1st, that was it. So we would show up and there would be 0 kids on campus.
Wow.
And so I guess school is over.
Unofficially. No repercussions for that?
No.
Okay.
And so,
wow.
So when I say they're starting from scratch like cooperative learning and identifying students with disabilities and determining reading levels. All of that was from scratch. Like we had to come up with a system ourselves. So when I say the creative brain, like by the end of the year, we were totally done being creative because we had to go to all the websites we remember from America. Yeah. Okay, how can we teach these girls how to read? Going back from day one. But like I said, we were so close-knit and we made such great progress. They did a whole play that 4th year in English, reading scripts. And so I was just so proud of them. But from 0, speaking of English, but they have to go back and forth because they was with me for 3 hours and then they were with religion and Arabic for another 3. So we flip-flopped. So my Arabic co-teacher was right across the hall from me. So they had to switch their brains from English because I only knew English. I couldn't help them with Arabic. And the Arabic couldn't help me with Arabic either. She could barely say hi. That's all we had for each other.
Wow.
So everybody was like, you ever learn Arabic? They didn't pay me to learn Arabic. They paid me to speak English only because it wouldn't be a crutch for them. They would have to, understand what I was saying to them and over time. But I love that those girls were amazing. So they're going to bring up another generation that realizes, oh my God, all of these teachers came here from all over the world, from Finland, from Australia, from United States. And they all came, and I don't know if we sprinkled something on them, but they're going to know that.
Sure you did. I am sure you did. What grade level was it?
I taught 3rd grade, and I moved up with my girls and taught 4th grade my 4th year.
Yep. So how old would they be right now? They're, like you said, they're in their 30s, right?
So they were in 4th grade. So that was 6 years ago. So they're probably in 10th or 11th grade now. The girls that I taught. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I still
so
have
that
really,
wasn't your,
yeah.
That wasn't your first class.
No, it wasn't my first class. So they're probably seniors, not my first class that was there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That is amazing. And that's such a rich experience, like a rich experience that you can bring here. And like I said, like now it's like it's all making sense.
Yeah.
Because like now it's like, because even in our community, like you and I have been on or been in different community groups where we've always wanted to be with the kids with education.
Yeah.
In our sorority, like it's with the kids and with education. And so like that, I have so much more respect for you. Like I always respected you, but like,
thank you.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, so
your credentials
so that kind of just put in the fire like that, so it bonds people together. So I still have a couple of friends over there, and so I just hats off to them. They're in their like 10th and 11th year now. I ended up leaving because I was trying to go to a school to pay for tuition for May and Jalen. Then I had Kai over there. So we were really just trying to make a switch to another school that would pay for tuition where we could still teach. So that didn't work out. So that's how it ended up back here. But I think we would still be there. We hadn't, tried to finagle our way.
I was like, because I still remember seeing like some of your pictures and just some of the times that you had. And I'm like, I always had that question in my head. Like, I wonder why did she come back? And if you ever like just had a plan to come back, because it just seems like you see how our alarm sister is living her best life.
Yeah, I know. I just think it's all in God's plan. It was God's plan all in that, because I would have missed out on the I3 mentor program, which totally changed my professional career. I mean, just the teaching and training that I got for those 3 years working with new teachers. So if I wouldn't have returned that year, I would have missed all of that.
Yeah.
Which means I wouldn't have been able to do ed leadership, because I finished my ed leadership degree, but they don't hire from within for the expat teachers. So I would have had to leave the country, come back for a leadership position. So I finished with ed leadership. I didn't get to walk because I was pregnant with Kai to come back here and walk. But I wouldn't have been able to move up to a leadership position when I was there as the way when I was. I don't know how it's working now, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So last question with that one, but did you see like a disparity when it came to female leaders and male leaders there? Because it seems like it would be if that's how they're educating their children.
No, ma'am. So let's see. How can I explain this? So it's all about they were originally created with tribes, right? And so based on your last name, you have a lot of clout. So my principal was Shamsi. So that's one of the highest tribes in the UAE. So she was principal. So they don't have any, bearings on women. So they've opened that up. So my principal and assistant principal were from high-ranking families. So
it's more classism over there versus anything.
Definitely. Yeah. So my U.S. passport would get me in and out of the country. My friend from South Africa, she couldn't go across the border like I could. So it depends on what country you were from. So I made more than what she made because I was from the U.S. But then the teachers from the U.K. made more than I did because the U.K. is seen as the top country. So it's England, then it's United States. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Oh, so you have listen. So sis, you've navigated through racism, you segregation, you navigated through classism. Good Lord. So yeah, okay. I dig it. I dig it. I'm gonna give you a moment to brag on your kid.
Okay.
Like I absolutely adore. I love the way that you and Jason are raising them and bringing them up. May is so beautiful, and it's so crazy because my little nickname for her is Maybelline. Yes. So I love that. So I want you to brag on your kids. I saw these posts and all of that good stuff that you posted about the wonderful things that they're doing. So tell me their ages and just brag on them about their accomplishments, because mama is all into education, and it doesn't just stop with you. And I'm glad to see that you're pouring into your kids, because sometimes we pour so much into other people's kids that our kids get like that second hand from us because we're tired.
Definitely.
You know, we are just tired. So
yes.
bring on your kids for a second. You have 3 beautiful,
I
handsome,
have 3. Yes.
smart
They're
kids.
they're all in different schools. So May is she's going to 10th grade. She'll be 15. Birthday again is in July. So we have 2 July. May is July 21st. Jalen is July 1st. So they're 2 years apart. So May is in 10th grade, Jalen's in 8th grade, and Kai's going to 3rd grade. So they're just all different personalities, and they just have great qualities. Like, I have 0 issues with them. They're just so kind to their friends, and but they're all different. So May is the soft heart. She cries the drop of hat movies, and she's just that touchy-feely girly girl. And so just super proud of her. I told you she did the essay about why we should have the AP African American class.
Yes.
And that's just, that's where I was in high school. So it's like, power to the people. So it's rubbed on her. She's more confident in herself because she's heard the stories from when I was in high school. And so I guess it just rubbed off, and she knows that, this isn't right. And so I was glad. It was a persuasive essay, so she could, look up the facts. And so she did that. So she was super nervous, but she got through it. And she's also in the jazz band and symphonic band, playing the trombone. She was inspired to do that from her uncle Zap, and he's in Marching 100. So we went up to visit for a FAMU game, and he had his trombone. And he let her try it, and that was history. That was in middle school. And so she went to high school. Like, I'm doing the trombone. So she's one of the only girls that's doing the trombone at George Jenkins High School.
I want to hear her play the trombone so bad.
Listen, she is so amazing. Yes. Yeah. Playing jazz, and what is the Louis Armstrong songs? So I try to let her see some of the FAMU March 100, like what they can do with the trombone, how it can sound different. So and then Jalen, he's a creative. So we tried soccer, that didn't work out for him. He's really just a creative. He likes to do anime. He I don't know, we did the AKA thing with like the talents, and so he actually did like he makes those people from scratch through the computer. So he really wants to get into animation and creating characters. He just released his first book. He wrote that when he was 9. Finally got published.
I remember him saying that. Do you remember we had that pitch with All for One? Like, I remember him because he just loved graphic novels. Yep. And I heard you encouraging him, like, because you were just telling me, and I'm like, William is the same way. Like, he and William, they remind me so much of one another. And I'm like, Lord, like, why haven't authors just, let's just get more graphic novels in the libraries? Yeah. And so I remember him coming up with, and that it may not have been this book, but I know he was so fixated on these characters with that graphic novel. Yeah. And so I'm gonna let you continue your story, but I'm so freaking excited that he is now that he is an author. Yes. Oh my God.
Yep. So his grandmother, Mama Carolyn, she worked on that to work with that publisher. It was a publisher we had used previously in the family. Previously, someone else had published a book for Aunt Dot, and so we used that publisher. But he's working on a sequel. I'm saying going to stay in the same vein with these same characters, because that's how it was meant to be. Like, he developed the characters initially, and then he can continue with it. So, but it should be bigger and better because he's older now, and he can really write. When I say his essay for voting rights, for his essay for English class this year, I was like, you better use Susan B. Anthony. You better quote her.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely he got 100% of that essay. So he is a writer, he's a natural writer. Yeah. And he does things like, I'm just wondering, like, these vocabulary words I know, how come nobody else knows them? I don't know, Jalen, but so yeah, he was reading when we were in the UAE, this story, I was like, how do you know your letters? He was only 2. Wow. Like, what are you talking about? You know how to write your letters and like reading. Like, I never taught him to read. He just picked up the book and started reading, which is amazing. I don't even know what happened. I was like, Miss Shanti, did you work with him with his ABCs? No, Mom. No, ma'am. No. Like, I don't even know what happened. But it was just a gift.
Given, he's just gifted.
Yes.
He is gifted.
So that was Jalen.
Like, he's so into him. Like, he's introverted, but his ideas are like, they're oh my gosh, they're out there, like they're innovative, and I can, he likes technology and all of that good stuff, and I find him so amazing. I'm like, oh my god, he reminds me so much of William. Like they just remind you two peas in the pod. But I love that about him, because you'll talk to him, and then like he may not be as social, but then I'm looking at this finished product like in one of our meetings, and I'm like, this boy, look at what he just created.
Yeah, so it'll surprise you. Yeah. So that's one of the qualities I love about him. Yep. So my last was Kai. So Kai is just he's all around boy. He's playing soccer now. He tried basketball, but now soccer is his thing. He's a straight A student. He is just breezing through school, Jazz, to be honest. It's just like, I'm just showing up just because y'all making me go. But it really is not a struggle. For him, I'm like, so what did you do today? Did you at least read a book? Yeah, I read 3 books, took an AR test, and it's just like, I'm just over it. Like, I need some people to give y'all a challenge here, because
right.
So, I love it. He was talking yesterday. He was, he was talking yesterday. He was playing the video game. He's like, yeah, I gotta be quiet. I gotta put y'all on mute because my mom is on this meeting, and so that is just rude for her. So I'm gonna put y'all on mute, and I'm gonna take y'all off in 20 minutes. It's like,
so cute. So cute. 3rd grade Kai. Coming from your 3rd grader.
Yes. So it's like, okay, they're listening and watching. So
they are. Yep. Which one is more like you, and one that's more like Jason? Like, which one do you see?
Oh, wow. I would say that's a good question. Some days May's more like Jason. She gets his jokes and stuff, and then they gang up on me. So, but I think May kind of looks more like me. Jalen's probably more like me than anything, because I was really quiet and withdrawn and stuff when I was his age, and like just love writing. So yeah, they all have a little piece of us. All of them are excellent in math, because they get tutored by their dad, because he is make sure
very smart.
They get it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I would say Kai is probably following more into Jason. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
So listen, look, we've gone full circle, and so I know that one of the ways that I've seen you come out of your shell, because I was shocked. I'm like, okay, Rashawn, go ahead, go with the makeup. Let's go. Okay, she's popping out with the makeup. Let's go. So I'm like, okay, I see you. I know that you started it with this entrepreneurial kind of spirit with Reading is Lit, and I thought that was such a great idea when it came to literacy with kids, because that is just such an integral part of young educators. Like, if they get that foundation, a strong foundation in literacy, it just promotes their future success educationally. So like, that's all research based, data backed, and all of that good stuff. So I love the way that you were trying to make reading fun for kids and making it lit, right? And so I saw you do that, and then but I see you blossoming with Mary Kay. So as you go into what you consider to be your comeback story, I want you to tell me, how did you become so enthralled with Mary Kay?
Okay, great question. So at the beginning of the pandemic, we were all at home. We were on Zoom. So I had dabbled in Zoom, Instagram, all of that because of Reading Lit. Like, really, it was all laid out, like my whole framework for Reading Lit. I actually use Zoom to tutor the kids and actually take them through the 6-week process to do it with their parents. And so when the pandemic happened, I was all for the technology because I was already using it in the entrepreneurial space, not more so at work. So I was invited to a virtual Zoom party to do Mary Kay. Like, my aunt invited me to this party. Like, probably was the day before my birthday. Again, it's probably like 2 weeks to now. It'd be like 3 weeks. Probably like June 21st or something. She invited me to this virtual party. And I've seen people do paparazzi, come on, show this jewelry, like, just my friends and stuff just invite me to these private groups. And so that was kind of the same concept. Yeah. So I said, she said, well, do you feel like, something you could join the team? They were going for, at that time, my sales director was in qualification for her first Mary Kay card. when I met her back in the pandemic. And so, do you want to join the team? Of course, I'll join the team. Do you want to share with other people? Yes, because why am I holding other people back? If they want to do it, they can do it too. So, so it was really quick. And so it really inspired me because I'm like, if everybody else can just get on technology and show some jewelry and do something, I'm all for it because we were in the house, we weren't doing anything else. It's something I can do and be flexible with it. I had done Amway previously, so I was familiar with skincare and I know the profit potential. But the profit potential of Mary Kay is 2 times as much as the other business. So I was like, I never knew that. Like, I don't know all these Mary Kay consultants. I don't know where you are, but you never asked me like if I would want to do it. So, so I'm glad my aunt invited me to the party. So, and so, but my the sales director that was on there, she had the party. She showed us some products, but she ended with, "May God's grace be upon you, and may His face shine upon you, and give you everything that you need." That's how she ended the Zoom meeting. I'm like, you want to know more about what she knows, because how she ended the Zoom meeting were facial with that, with the Bible verse. And so, I got started. I had my first party. Probably did about $1,200 to $1,500 with just one Zoom party.
Wow.
Okay, it was only an hour. I really didn't do anything. So I was like, okay, there's something more here than I'm not.
Wait, Rashawn, wait. Strippers. Y'all hear this? My girl made $1,500 an hour. You ain't got to be out there on that.
Yeah. Yes. And so I was like, okay.
I don't know. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I'm like, $1,500 an hour? You ain't got to be doing that. What you doing?
Yes. And so it just kind of started from there. So that's when I started, at Kathleen. And of course, Florida, we didn't shut down. We went back to school and all that. But it still was something that I could fit in and I can do like once a month. Like that's how I did. I was like, okay, if I could do this 1 hour once a month and still make $1,200 to $1,500, that's a difference between the plane ticket. We can go somewhere. It was gas money. It was something. So even though it wasn't full speed ahead, I was still learning skills during that time, because all you do is same thing over and over again. And yes, there's different products that you're sharing for different seasons. But I pretty much was just in a learning mode, and just whatever my sales director or my aunt said that we were doing, I was just all in, because it really isn't for me about, I guess, the money, but we're going towards the goal. So my sales director is a pink Cadillac sales director. So she has the pink Cadillac. But during that time, she went through 3 other cars to get to the pink Cadillac. But I saw all of that happen with all of us working together. So, so that's kind of how I did it. And so when you see me transforming and getting more confidence, it's just because you get more confidence when your skills grow. Same with education. Like I probably in my first class, teaching class at FAMU, no. Public speaking, I was like, no, this is not for me. Like, this is the season. You'll get through it. That's the professor you see. It's the season. You'll get through it. I'm like, no. But look, 21 years later, we're educators and we can, speak in front of kids and do different things. So the same thing with Mary Kay. It's the same skills that you practice over and over again. And so it just gives you the confidence, because you just do it over and over again. Just same like with teaching. So, yeah.
So how is this journey? Like, how is this helping you, I guess, to be a part of your comeback story? Like, what do you consider your comeback story? Like, what have you come back from?
So I think I've come back from when you sent me that. I was like, well, it's kind of tied to Mary Kay, because even though it started at the beginning of my AP journey, the AP journey was draining for me. And I really had to come to the conclusion, like, okay, really, is this for me? Like, who cares about a title? And my story from high school. It's just rough dealing with racism. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know. I don't want to be the civil rights martyr at this point in my life. It's not worth it. We lost way too many people with COVID. I lost my grandparents during COVID. So it's like life is too short to deal with just foolishness. And Mary Kay gave me a space. Like, I just do the Mary Kay party just because it was a positive environment. I care less about us making money. It was fun. We were having girlfriend time. Like, I really got to connect with all of my friends from Michigan. We would get on here. We would do our skincare, get ready for bed, playing some makeup, and it was just fun for me. I could just turn off the Zoom. Oh, that was a great time. And now I'm starting to do more face-to-face, and it's just a really good girlfriend time. Like, mental health, really. We need it. You understand?
Yeah.
You know the school I'm talking about? Okay,
I do. I do, Rashawn, and just you being in agreement to come on, because I'm glad you hit on that topic of, so who cares about a title, because and I shared, Ruby was on here just a few minutes ago, but she went into, she was into educational leadership too. She was assistant principal as well, at the high school level. And for me, we have colleagues who can do it gracefully. They can do it, with their eyes closed. And this is, this is just, that's their dream job, and that's what they want to do. But what I found, because I thought I was like in my own little bubble at first, because, and this is a funny story, because it's just like going back to it, because when I first got that first AP check as an assistant principal and compared it to that teacher check, I had to call some of my friends, and I was like,
look at my face.
What's your check? Wait a minute now, because I don't got my master's degree. And I'm ready, and I thought this was gonna be. I thought this was gonna be like way more, like, because I'm thinking maybe they messed up on my check or something. Like, so I'm like, do you mind sharing with me, like, how much more we were supposed to be getting as an assistant principal? Like, am I doing the calculations right? So there's that. But then there's just being quite honest or whatever. And I've always been honest about it, because it was some years that I didn't share any of my stories with anybody, because I honestly felt like maybe I'm the only person going through this. Like, even though I knew
that's how you feel. That's how you feel when you're in it.
Oh my God! Even though I absolutely, being smart enough, that of course you're not the first person. But I think just like you, when you said, like, at this time in your life, you didn't want to really deal with the racist stuff. It's just like it was sort of that, but with my journey into the leadership thing, I found it to be hard for me because of the placement. Yeah. It's just like you're placing me in these places that honestly they need an African American female, but you're placing me when I'm. Because I'm so gun-ho. Like, I love these kids. I love the staff. Yep. Like, you're smart, and you love the curriculum. I know you love the curriculum. You love ELA. You love the training, the teaching other teachers, because you have that experience, because you have that lens of in-country and out-of-country. You just love education. Yep. And so I had that robust love for education, too. And I came up under great leadership where I saw them take a low-performing school and maintain it like at A level. So it's like, ooh, I can do this. Yep. Okay, well, it looked different when she was doing it at her site. Yeah. But when you came in and you tried to do it under your principal, no, ma'am, because you don't. When you get your school, that's when you can do that. And I'm just like, so it ain't really about doing what's best for the kids. It's just about like, I don't know, like, so many things were coming at me. Like, I don't want to get on my soapbox with that or whatever, but it's like I feel that struggle. And one of the things that I just always wish that we had is just that we just had a safe space, like a cohort that we could just go and talk to someone about our experiences. Because like right now I'm sitting on a principal endorsement right now. Yes, have it. However, I do know that you have to have tough skin, and especially if you want to run your school one day, you do. But everybody's journey was not like yours and mine, Rashawn, and we're two different people. So you probably handled what you had to go through totally different than how I handled it. I know for sure you probably did. But here's my thing, and just since we're on the topic and we're on this platform, it's no skating over that. Like, it's no, it wasn't just because it was me. It's because y'all know that this is happening to other people. So what are we going to do about it? Like, where is the change going to come? And some males have a different journey than we do. Like, I just know that it's different isms, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Different is in it. But as a whole, I think what people really do need to understand is that leadership is tough. Like, it's not for the weak. It is very tough, and you give a lot. You give yourself. Like, you literally, when you are a school leader, you not only have to worry about your students, but you have to ultimately worry about your staff. Like, it is, although we say students first, when they teach you in leadership, is that it is your staff first.
Yes.
Then it's your students. Like, because if you take care of your staff, then they're going to take care of your students.
Yes.
So, like, it's just difficult. That is ultimately a labor of love, and I loved it. But I'll never forget. And one day I am going to come back to it, because ultimately I do, like, more and more. I want to have my own institution of learning. So that has not gone from me. But one thing that my mom told me, and I'm sharing this just because, you are a mom too. And like I said before, like, I love how you were still able to pour into your babies, because they're doing magnificent things. Yeah. And there have been so many sacrifices that, I made, as a mom. But I will never forget, like, in this new position that I am, kind of sort of much like you. Like, I look at you and I see that you feel lighter. Like, you are still doing your calling. You still get to educate. You still, like, some of the skills that you are taking in education and in leadership, you're able to do that in Mary Kay. What you're learning in Mary Kay, you're able to infiltrate that back into education. So I see it, and so it's just finding your niche and just, like, being in your happy place. But I won't forget what my mom told me. She's just like, one day, like, in this new position, she was just like, you seem so much like you seem less stressed. And I'm like, I don't know if you took on this persona of, I have to be so strong. I have to be strong in every situation, because why can't I handle this? Yes, I can handle this. Yep, I'm going to go back to school and I'm going to do this event. Yes, I'm going to be there for my kids. Yes, I'm going to be in my community too. I'm going to be in my sorority. I'm going to be in all these places. Yeah. But then it's just like, if you don't take care of you, you're gonna hit, like, you're gonna hit a brick wall, like, real hard. Sis.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I sense that's something that you went through, and I'm glad that you were able to read your gauge, and you were able to pivot and do what you still love, and still be in that leadership role, and be able to maneuver back if that's what you want to do. But I love seeing you be a boss, and I, like, from your bio and from what you describe as being your comeback story, it's like, I feel like this is affording you an opportunity to do what you want to with your family while still holding on to education. And then, is that what you still see as being your comeback?
I definitely do, because I'll get more details probably when it's not so fresh, but I was really in a really bad place. And so I was in that position. Again, I was placed there just like you were. And I think that says a lot, just based upon the system. But I was literally, but you know what? Didn't I tell you from high school what we was doing? Yeah. So I'm not cut from that thread. And so it was like fight or flight. So I think I gave you a call. I gave all of my connections a call. You hiring, because I was willing to give out. I was giving it up. It was just like, okay, whatever God's going to have for me, he's going to have for me. But it was to that place. Like, I have enough sick leave that I can really just, I'm not coming back. Because it's like, okay, you're intimidated. Okay, now I don't know anything. And it's just really bad. Like, you just put people down to that small of, a place just to, elevate yourself. Like, it's not even about that. Like, I don't even care about a position, or I'm not trying to take your job. I'm not trying to do any of this. Like, it's really about the kids. Plain and simple. And that's been my heart from the beginning. It's all about the kids. And so the all around, no, I could do without it. And so that's where I was. And I think I went to a sorority meeting. And so our sorority sisters they're great because they encourage me and they uplifted me. Like, Rashawn, you can do it. Like, it's not you. And so they just pray for me. People at church pray for me. And when I say God opened the door, because that door was not open. Somebody resigned and I walked straight into it. That was November. So that is not something I'm taking credit for. That was God working it out behind the scenes, because I was praying and I said I had enough sick leave. Jason, I don't know if I could do this another day. So this break better come on here. And I'm gonna have these interviews lined up because it wasn't worth it to me. Because I mean, you've taken me through like all my whole life story, and I know what I've been through, and I know what I've been raised in my heart, and so it just wasn't worth it for all of that. And so I just kudos to the job that I do have. No, I can be creative. I can be myself. And I just told them last week at the retreat, like, you've given me my confidence back. Like, I thought I literally was gonna like lose my mind. Like, do I really not know what I'm doing? And I know you can feel that too. Like, what in the world? So you just question everything, and people don't understand in your mental space, like, you're nitpicking every little thing that I do. You're not giving me all the information. You're setting it up. You're having secret meetings and all this stuff. And it's not worth it to me. Sorry. It's just such a toxic environment. And so I don't need the toxic environment in life. So Mary Kay saved me from that. So I would do my parties and I can be around. And when I say these are ladies who pray with me too, who encourage me. And so just like you do every Monday with all the positive quotes, I'm saving all of them. You just didn't even know I was saving them. Because I need to have the positive.
They are yours.
And all in my life, because I go, oh my God, I got to go back here again. And, it's like, it was awful. So that is my most recent comeback story. But it's just, and it's so disheartening. Yes, because your guest from last week, and then your story, and then my story. One thing we have in common.
We're not making this up.
Yes.
And it's,
yeah.
Sometimes I learn how to, so I choose to stop there. I choose to stop there because, it's like, I choose to stop there.
That's all.
So it's just like, at the end of the day, nobody's making this up. You've heard story after story after story. If I see one more leader that I was under, that y'all don't found a way to get rid of all of a sudden now, but it's like, I told you this how long ago, but you want to blame it on me. So I choose to stop there. And what I did is I just chose to reserve my life for where it needed to be, where it was welcome to shine.
Definitely.
I think
yes.
So it was no giving up. It was no quitting. It was like, that felt like a divorce, like not being an AP and not going on, like seeing people that I mentored becoming principals now.
Wow.
So it's just like that wasn't an easy, decision, but that was like a life-saving, that was a self-preserving decision. So I love what you said when you said, it is not about the title. Because when I tell you, if you are a leader, you are going to be a leader wherever you are and in whatever you do. So it's just like,
So a lot of people probably don't know that I'm not AP anymore, because it probably says still on my Facebook page or something. So a lot of people didn't know I transitioned
First
to
of all,
do that. So.
I just tell you that I didn't know until I read your bio. I was like, what? I didn't know. But when I read it, I was so happy because I was like, oh my God, I can see her. That's her. Like that's what she's gonna soar in. I see it. I was like, go, Rashawn. Like, go ahead and pivot, move, and go after what you ultimately want to do. Like, to me, that is the beauty. That's the most beautiful comeback story, is when you can take all of those adversities that you've gone through and you still hang in there and you come out great on the other side. And you come out great on the other side with your sanity, with your energy, and with your passion still intact. And so that's amazing to me, that God, the right resources, and you've been able to put in the work. Like that's the winning formula to me. So like I appreciate you for coming on and for sharing your story.
Like, for having me. Such great questions.
Beautiful circle. Like, I've learned so much about you, and I really, really love that. Like, let me send my kids over to your house for a tutoring session. Get them right.
They're welcome anytime. Yes. Welcome anytime.
So listen, I'm not going to let you leave without you promoting your businesses, what you do. Like, if you're looking for, more people to grow in your industry, in your business, whether it be to come to Polk County, whether it be to come to Mary Kay. So you promote away.
All right. So, yes, I am that new sales director here in Lakeland going for the Chevy Trax. That is the first car of Mary Kay. And so I need just looking for 16 more ladies to join the team. And so that looks like, hey, you just want 50% off your products because you love the product, or you just want to just take a step of faith out for your family. But we're having a pilot program going on for the summer for all educators. So you get to peek in for the summer and just see how it is for yourself. Like I told you about my first party, that's all you would have to do. You come join the team, have your first party. You like it, great. If you don't, great too. So we just are doing that for the months of June and July. June is actually also the end of the Mary Kay year, so we're really finishing that up. So we are doing a Hydrating America campaign for the month of June, and so we're selling hydrating masks. You get a box of 8, and so we're really just pushing to, as we donate them to our local cancer center. I do have a classmate who's going through breast cancer right now, and so one of the Mary Kay foundations is really just to support cancers that affect women. And so the hydrating mask really just hydrates people going through radiation and chemotherapy. So you can either donate the $40 and say, I'm just give a box of masks to the cancer center here in Lakeland, or the one in Michigan that we're going to send them to in July. Or you can buy a box of masks for yourself, just when you go into the beach or you out, by the, I don't know, chilling out by the beach and you just need to rehydrate your face. So it's called Hydrate America. That's our thing for the next week. But you can just follow me on at Ray Mary Kay 2003. That's my Mary Kay Facebook page, and then I signed in at Ray W79 on Instagram. But I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Haven't figured out TikTok yet, but we're moving there.
Yeah, just tell Jalen to just go explore. Jalen, go explore. Help him out.
Yeah. So those are the 2 platforms I'm on now. But those are my 2 major things, just looking for team members, because we are going to sales director qualification to finish that by September. And so I just want to be an example of one of the first African-American women to do that here in the Lakeland area. So, just give me a challenge. So put in the work. Listen, so contact me if you want to know more information. Yeah, and I appreciate Jazz for giving me the platform.
Is it basically IG? Is that the best way to contact you?
Yeah. And you could do a DM on IG and then Facebook Messenger as well. Yep. If you just follow me, Rashawn Williams is my personal page, but they're both connected together. Yep.
Now, is this Chevrolet? Is it pink too?
It is not. It is dark gray. They just launched it this month. Yes. Yep.
Listen, that's all I knew was like the pink Cadillac. So when you told me Mary Kay, I was like, girl, yes, going to get that pink Cadillac.
So that's on the way. It's the step on the way. Next is the Equinox, and then it's the pink Cadillac. Yeah. So it's just the premise of it is just teaching you everything that you need to be successful. So it's not about me. Like, it's still, everybody makes the same amount of money. So it's just me, like you said, in a leadership role, teaching you what you need to do for your business. So
So look, I want to see, those of you who are listening, those of you who are catching this on the replay, I want you to reach out to her. She's very knowledgeable, has over 21 years of experience in education. So you know that she's going to teach you the ins and outs. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. You're looking at somebody who's shy, who started out not wanting to speak in front of people, and she's blossoming. Like, that's what she does for a living. She trains. Okay? She trains, effectively. And so I want you to make sure that you reach out to her. I will definitely put your information in the description of this podcast episode. But Rashawn, I just want to just tell you that you are an amazing person. You are an amazing wife, mother, daughter, sister, cousin, community leader, school leader, She's led several schools, different, demographics, and hundreds and thousands of kids, and hundreds and thousands of staff members. You're talking about somebody who's qualified. I love it. I've not like she's very nice. I can't even see you. I can't even see like an argument from you. Like I where is it at? Like where is that?
If you try to wrong one of these kids, that'll come out real quick.
I'm like, because if there's anything that I got book about is if you're not teaching these babies, or if you said something to one of my babies,
right?
Don't do that.
Yep, don't do that. You'll see it for real.
I understand. But you know, you are amazing, and I pray that you continue along this path of entrepreneurship to open more doors for your family, to open more doors for people who want to follow in your footsteps, and to continue to lead our future teachers, because that's what's really important, because we need more Rashawns in the world. So don't ever let anybody, dim your light. Let your light so shine. That's what
Same
you need
to you.
do.
We probably need to collaborate. Have you heard of Iconic Prep? That's the FAMU model. It needs to be one here in Lakeland. We can
yes.
Check them. We need to branch out.
Let's go take a tour. Let's take a tour.
Yes.
I say let's take a tour.
You got my number. Just call me anytime. We need to go. Yep, and give them some love.
Yes. Yes. Just let me know when you want to go. Let me know when you want to go.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Listen, all of my Jazzy Crew members out there, listen, this has been episode 84 of the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast. You know that we air every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on IG Live. But hey, if you can't catch it on IG Live, I am also going to load this episode onto YouTube and podcast platforms as well. I need for you to do some things, all right? Number one, I need for you to subscribe. Subscribe here, subscribe at YouTube, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. I need for you to hit the notifications bell so that you will know when new episodes arrive. And I need for you to rate and review it by leaving comments in the comment section, either here on YouTube or on your favorite podcast platform. And as always, make sure that you understand that now is a dope time for a comeback. And I will see you back here next Monday. All goal, that's GOAL, diggers are welcome. So thank you so much. This has been episode 84 with my special guest, Rashawn Williams. See you, sis.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.